when you first get the whiff of that FTX news, when it was first like, ooh, maybe something's wrong here, what's going through your mind?
Nothing. You have to remember, across business, across a lot of this stuff, most of the people that you see yelling and screaming, they're not professionals, right? And so like the amount of money that was lost in some of these companies, some of them I was an investor in, some of them I wasn't. People would like jump off bridges, literally, right? In terms of this stuff. And by the way, also, you have to think not just about the aggregate dollar amounts lost, but the percentage of money that some people lost, right? Some people had $5, but that $5 meant a hell of a lot to them.
Yes.
Or 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, right? And so it's not to say that any one person feels more or less pain or anything like that, but it's the professional knows that they're taking risk. The professional knows that it could not work. And so, you know, if you think of value lost in all of this, yeah, we're up there for sure in terms of probably taking some of the biggest L's in all of it. But also, we took a lot of W's along the way. And you don't hear me complaining about it, right? No. And it's because you can't change the past. You can only go forward. And it's also a thing of like, even though many people would look at like the quote unquote risk management that take me personally, like me as an individual, that I overlay on my life, they'd be like, that's crazy.
Wait, what do you, back up?
Risk management just means, take the simple example of how much of my net worth I put in Bitcoin.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who would say, oh, why would you ever put more than 5%?
Right.
And usually when I would ask people, I'd say put 2 to 3%, right?
Yeah.
And the part that's hilarious to me about the entire situation is I'm probably the most conservative person or one of the most conservative people. Most of the people I know in the Bitcoin community say, go put all of your money in Bitcoin. Why do you have any dollars? Right.
I think the speech you were giving me, this is back in 2018, but I think you were saying you were running around the companies saying, get off zero.
Yeah, it's like literally get off zero, get 1%.
It wasn't like, right? Put 50% in Bitcoin right fucking now.
Like none of that. Literally, I am, for better or worse, the person who started saying get off zero and get to 1%, right? And so like, not really that risky.
Yeah.
On top of that, for every person who has, you know, said all this stuff about these advertisers, it's like, listen, if regulators and other people were all deceived, tricked, whatever, no one person is gonna like figure it out, right? And then on top of that, nobody ever talks about all of the advertisers that did custody solutions or had self-custody or private key management, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's only...
They talk about the losers.
Well, not even just the losers. It's the ones that fit their narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so like, you know, look, the problem for a lot of the individuals who are yelling and screaming is that I've been doing this longer than them, many of them. And I've actually been on the inside. I'm not an idiot on the internet who comes from the traditional financial world and is like, oh, I don't understand Bitcoin. Right. I know all the players. I know who is ethical and who's not. I know which companies are completely full of shit and using the name Bitcoin to actually mislead their audience. And I know who the good players are. And I've just held my tongue. At some point, maybe I won't. I haven't decided yet how I would, you know, kind of move forward. But what I can say is that there's a lot of people who are yelling and screaming and beating their chest. And that long list of people doing that are the exact people that they're all hiding something. They're trying to distract from the things that they're doing. And what I always, you know, there's something I learned in my life over the years that the more somebody yells about something, the more likely it is that they're actually trying to hide something. And you see this with like politicians, you know, that they'll be pushing all this like anti-gay legislation And then it turns out that they have like it's a man who's a male lover or something, right? Like there's always like something, right? And so the second that I see someone beating their chest, talking about how they're virtuous or they're ethical or they're honest, I immediately just red flags go up, right? Alarms go off. And what's crazy to me is that regardless of all this nonsense, Bitcoin just doesn't care, right? Like block after block after block, Bitcoin doesn't even know Twitter exists, right? It just continues to produce blocks of transactions.